characteristic also of Florida scrub. This has a highly, come grab a leaf off this. This has a highly revolute leaf margin.
Revolute?
So leaf margin is entire, but it's very, very revolute. It curls under. No, but it is hard too. But it turns under.
So it curls over, I guess, you mean?
Curl around the edges. That's revolute.
Entire is just, there's no
entire means there's no serrations or anything. Right. So it's entire and revolute. It also has real obvious leaf veins, and that's also characteristic of this. So this is sand live oak. Sand live oak. Okay. You're right. It's not yet. It's still here. But it is a good example. They have inferior ovaries, and you can see that inferior ovariness here, right? So this, the flower fell off, so this is the ovary here. And actually, if you look at this one, you can see how the ovary is down there. And when the fruit develops, it's below the sepals.
Okay, so that'll make it inferior.
Inferior, yep. Yeah. So this is Ludwigia.
Like an apple, inferior.
What are these ones again? These ones have inferior ovaries too, right?
No, those are actually superior.
I said Rexia.
Because it's Rexia, you're right. The sepals are down there.
What's it called?
Oh, that's right. Okay, I'm thinking below the petals.
Ludwigia?
Okay.
Ludwigia peruviana.
Wait, can I see what that looks like?
Oh my goodness, it's right here. Sorry.
It's okay.
You're not rubbing that on your face. It's the only thing I know. Is the little urn.
It's the genus.
How do you pronounce it?
How you pronounce it?
What did you say it was again?
Coreopsis. Coreopsis. It's actually a scrophulary ace too. And they have opposite. So this, see how this has that decussate leaf arrangement again? Very clear, right? Zip, 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 zip. And the flowers are kind of interesting because when you first look at it, you might think it's an actinomorphic flower. You know, remember what that means? Where it's radially symmetric. But if you look closely, you can see it's not, that there's actually two petals up here that are fused together.
So it's like the landing pad.
So it has, yeah, right. So it actually has 5 petals, but these 2 are connate, meaning fused together. Like Bacopa is the genus. B-A-C-O-P-A.
And that's called zygomorphic or something, right? When
Katie was breaking into song last week when we talked about Bacopa. We'll find one of these that has flowers on it. Campanulaceae.
Campanulaceae.
Or it's sometimes called the Lobelia family. Actually, I call it the Lobelia family, but it's also the bellflower family.
You know the common name for it?
That one is not that one, but it's in that
Plukia
Here's
odorata.
A plant. This is in the Rubiaceae family, sometimes called the madder family. And it has opposite leaves, that's characteristic of the family. And usually the flowers are white or whitish. This is kind of pinkish white. And it had flowers in so the bud in all these axils were flower buds, right? And so down at these flowers opened first, and now they're forming fruits. And then these flowers opened. Now this one's open at the top. So this is actually called an indeterminate inflorescence. It's rhyming.
Feels good.
Because it continues to grow and produce flowers as you go up the stem. And so this flower will eventually produce fruit, but these balls on here are just fruits that are forming. So there used to be flowers there.
No, I mean
That is, because if I take one of these things that looks like a flower, but it's really an inflorescence, and I break it like that, I could see these individual things that have, if you look very closely, little tiny, what's going to be a seed, the tiny ovary at the bottom. So that's a floret, or really a flower, just a very reduced flower. And this head is the involucrate head.
So when you say inflorescence, you're not really talking about...
An inflorescence is a group of flowers.
Serrate
leaf margin. And when you hear the word bay for a tree, it could mean a couple things. It could mean a couple different families. This one is actually not in the family that the smelly bays are in. This one doesn't smell. Mimosas have that kind of leaf, and they're all in Fabaceae.
Are they all sensitive?
Most are sensitive. I mean, this guy's clearly sensitive, right? He's curling up as we speak. So that's not true for all of them, but if you see that, you would say Fabaceae, right? There are other things that there are other things.
What's the name of that one?
This one's Cassia, is the genus. It's in the Fabaceae family.
How do you...
Did you see that yesterday in class?
What's that?
Did you have a picture of it yesterday in class? Sagittarius?
Yes, I did. I actually did
Why is it
have
called that though?
Sagittarius.
Because I've never seen a duck ever eat it.
Why is it called duck potato? Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know if they really eat it or not.
Oh, what's this going on?
The tubery kind of. That's sphagnum moss there.
Okay.
So this is not the same species as that tall one. This is called Sagittaria gracilis, and gracilis means kind of slender and fragile, and this one has little skinny leaves like that, kind of long lanceolate leaves.
Duckweed?
It doesn't have the...
Duck potato.
Duck potato. Yeah, duck potato. Duckweed's totally different. But Sagittaria is the common.
Is this the loblolly?
Loblolly. Flowers on top, pinkish white. And this is, I'm just going to grab a bunch of the leaves without the flowers. The important thing I wanted you to see is actually the, I'm going to just pass those around. These,
We're taking that one too, right?
yeah, I want to take that back to school tomorrow. Show you in class. Ray, could you pass that around? And then pass that one. And then, so there are a couple common names for this, but one of them's the knotweed family. And at each node, it kind of has swollen nodes. This is the Polygonaceae family.
Can you repeat that?
Polygonaceae family.
Polygonaceae.
Not polygolate. You see these knots at the nodes? And they often have hairs, little like cilia that come up from this kind of sheath that surrounds the node at the leaf. Polygonaceae.
Tail without flowers.
Yeah, it doesn't have flowers right now.
What do lizard tail?
The inflorescence would do this, and you'd say Cyperaceae. Yeah. You wouldn't say Sag because you get Cyperaceae, but you'd say Cyperaceae.
So these hairs consider the flowers?
Yes, those are flowers. For what
These are sedges, Cyperaceae.
Yeah,
It's got
Cyperaceae,
3 sides to the stem.
Cyperaceae family. This is probably the genus. Well, I know it's the genus Cyperus, and again, it has that decussate leaf arrangement where they're kind of out at right angles. And this actually has these axillary branches, so the buds are turned into branches.
The mint family.
Mint family, Lamiaceae.
Lamiaceae.
Right. Yay! What do you think this is? This is longleaf, right? Can you see the different one?
Yes.
One difference when they're little is that slash will start to branch early, and longleaf doesn't. And remember when we looked at the big trees last week, and I said longleaf has those really stout branches all the way out to the ends. Even as a seedling, they have a much stouter stem than slash. And the other difference that's pretty obvious on little things is what color would you call that apical meristem? White. Whereas this guy, brownish. Yeah. So sometimes people call them, you'll hear it called candle. You'll hear people say longleaf pine has a white candle and slash has a brown candle. So like that's a longleaf there. They planted, there's longleaf and slash planted in here. Although they can have 3, but this one only had 2. And here's a longleaf, and it has 3. And if I hold them next to each other, the longleaf, here's where the slash ends, the longleaf keeps going. So longleaf are longer than slash, and they typically have 3 needles per fascicle, whereas slash
Polygolaceae.
Asteraceae.
Nope, it's Polygolaceae is the family.
Oh, okay.
Polygola is the genus.
Oh, I'm not going to pick it. I don't have
Polygala. What's that? Lutea is the...
Yeah, I'll get it.
Gradiola.
Okay, so this is scrub, and you're going to see some things. That's kind of waxy leaves. It's related to rusty Lyonia. And it's kind of an interesting one because you tend to find it in wet spots, but you also, this isn't unusual to see it in a dry spot too. And one way that you can tell it, even without the classic urn-shaped flowers, is that if you look carefully at the leaf margin, there's a vein that runs along the margin of the leaf. It's an entire leaf, and it's kind of a lighter green color and kind of flattened. And whenever you see that on a leaf shape like that, you say Lyonia leaf.
Yeah, but look, it's entire, but alright, what do you call the shape?
The heath family, the Ericaceae. But these guys, Lyonias have a capsule for a fruit type, and blueberries have a berry for their fruit type.
Shiny blueberry.
Yeah, they make actually blueberries. There's really only 3 oaks that you find in scrub around here. Sand live is one of them. Here's the other one. This is myrtle oak. Myrtle. And myrtle oak has entire leaf margins and kind of ovoid leaf shape, kind of shiny. So much thinner. You can't mistake it. It has revolute leaf margins too. Maybe not quite as revolute. There's rusty one.
What is ovoid?
Egg shaped.
Well, what